Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you, as always, for your tweets. Stevie Nicol with us here in the studio, Gab Marquardt and Don Hutchison in his Leicester City bedroom. We'll start with this one for you, Gab. Which one is likely to recover and reclaim their glory between Juventus and Manchester United?
Ooh, that's a really, really good question. I think it comes down to how you define glory. I would assume it's probably going to be Juventus for the simple reason that, at least domestically, you're not facing two juggernauts like City and Liverpool, in the sense that, Napoli, Inter, and Milan are ahead of Juve right now, but they don't have the heft. They're not, the finely tuned machines that City and Liverpool are. So I would suggest the road back is probably marginally shorter for Juventus, but because there's so many question marks around United. But I'll tell you what, both these teams need to take a long, hard look at themselves. There's too many people there who are making big decisions, who've been there a long time, and really should move on. You can't just keep blaming everything on the manager year after year. And this applies to both clubs.
Gab sounded like a stern father. You need to have a good look at yourself in the mirror, young man.
He's not wrong.
Well, no, he's not. They're both rubbish. Stevie, you've relentlessly said that League One and Serie A are relatively weak leagues and none of their teams remain in the Champions League now. Can you see the future? Well, that's not difficult to predict, was it, really?
Well, you'd have to suggest that it's going to take something like the City owners or the people that have just moved into Newcastle to take over an AC Milan or an Inter and turn it into a PSG situation where they can buy the biggest and the best players because of the money. And then all of a sudden that could shift, and instead of PSG continue losing with all these great players, maybe a Juve or an AC Milan could turn into an actual successful team with a lot of money.
I've been stifling a smile throughout today's show because Stevie had some issues with his makeup today. Stevie, can you look? If you look that way, look that way and show everybody what I can see.
What is that?
So no, just turn your head to the left. And there's this massive clump of makeup here. How did you get that so wrong?
Well, because there was no powder, there was nothing to put the powder on, so I had to use my fingers. I mean, big time here, you know what I mean? No expense spared. Well, to be fair, the makeup girls are not here anymore.
Where's your thing? Where's your power? What do they call it? I don't know what
I've
they call
lost it.
How did you lose that?
I've no idea. See, that's a kind of stupid question parents ask.
What?
How did you lose that? Well, if I knew, I wouldn't have lost it, right?
Well, it's not as if you're out and about with your makeup.
Well, exactly.
Thing, is it?
Well, I've no idea.
Gab, what will it take for Italian sides to be more competitive in Europe? It seems like each top team in Italy has older players who wouldn't play for top clubs in England and Spain.
Look, I know that's a stereotype. I think it's changing. It's just as with most things, it takes time to change. I don't think that's the case at Milan. I think people like Tomori, like Kessie, like Theo Hernandez could play at top clubs in Italy and Spain, and even Juventus. They're trying to get younger. Obviously, they have Vlahovic. Chiesa's injured, but he's not super old. They just had two guys, Bentancur and Kulusevski, who they sold to Tottenham, who by your definition may or may not be a big club in England. So I think it is changing, but the reality of it and the economics of it is that a lot of times these teams want to win straight away, and so they rely, I think, far too much on veterans, on a quick fix, not realizing that those guys then cost you money down the road because they're more expensive. I think Milan have shown that the way forward is by investing money on youth. Inter slowly are getting there, and Juventus, I think, are also moving in that direction. But when I look around, I see a lot of old players, but I also see Osimhen, Barella, the guys I mentioned before, Bastoni. It's not all like that.
Stevie, why was Ronaldo blamed for Juventus' downfall and they've been beaten by Unai Emery by 3 goals in Italy?
Well, whoever blamed him, I think, was being a little harsh. Because the truth is, certainly the way I saw it, he was brought in for them to win the Champions League. And in the Champions League, he scored goals. He did his job.
Right.
It was the rest of the team that didn't do the job. So I find it difficult to agree with anybody that is blaming Ronaldo for the problems that Juventus are having. He did his part, as far as I'm concerned.
Has he been the easy scapegoat, Gab?
There's no question that Ronaldo cost them an enormous amount of money. And obviously that was money that if they hadn't signed him, they could have spent on other players. But looking at some of the other players they spent money on, you know, you're almost glad that they didn't have that extra money to spend on other players because they would have got mediocre ones. So you're better off with Cristiano. There's no question, though, that, you know, he wasn't helped. 3 different managers in 3 seasons. I think a lot of the direct blame on Cristiano was more like philosophical, like should you have spent the Cristiano money differently? And maybe a little bit their elimination last year when he was in the wall for that free kick, and a lot of surly ex-pros like Craig Burley had to go on him at him because he didn't like the way he defended in the wall.
Just how good is Unai Emery, Don? Would Manchester United consider him?
Probably not, because they look at the wrong ones. They should be considering people like Simeone, who put on a masterclass the other night. I think they're all over the place, in all honesty, Dan. You talk about Man United, you could fill about 5 shows. There's so much wrong with them, the culture there, the DNA there. And there's a lot of moaners there. I mean, if Bruno Fernandes spent as much time closing down and showing for the ball as he does moaning, he'd be some player. So I don't know what Man United are looking for.
Don, Firmino got a yellow for celebrating with a fan today that makes no sense. Have you received a yellow card for no reason?
Yes. Playing for Sunderland against Liverpool at the stadium tonight. I scored the first goal in the game. Immediately then just dive-bombed myself into the Sunderland end. Got loads of adulation, just got loads of hugs, loads of kisses. Got back on the pitch. Boom, yellow card.
Oh, man.
Worth it.
Well, then that wasn't for no reason.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Oh, man. Would you like that, Stevie, jumping into the crowd?
No.
No? Why not?
Well, there's a reason you get a yellow card, is because somebody could get hurt.
Yeah, Don.
Somebody could get hurt.
Like I'm going to jump in the crowd and give someone a hug and someone's going to get hurt.
No, but
Well,
the
you will, 'cause
stampede,
they're all
everybody wants to
stampedes.
touch
They're all
you.
crushing.
Right, it's Don, we're excited.
It just takes a couple of people to fall, and then they all start falling, and then somebody gets hurt.
There was millions of them, to be fair, trying to get to me.
Go on, Gap.
No, I was just going to say something unkind, that it depends who jumps into the crowd and, you know, how many fans are there and how eager they are to go and touch him and get a piece of him. In Don's case, as we heard, you know, clearly Sunderland fans are all moving in an orderly queue to go and get their piece of Don Hutchinson.
That's it.
Do you remember the guy who scored and went over to the stand that was empty and sat in a chair and started clapping?
Yes.
Now, that's when you don't get... The guy got a yellow card for that. That's when you shouldn't be given a yellow card, because that's great.
Comedy.
That's great.
Everything you want.
Not putting people in harm's way.
Yeah, Don. Right, from a matchup point of view, in the next round of the Champions League, what is an ideal matchup for Liverpool? Who do you want, Stevie?
Benfica.
Who next?
Villarreal.
Who next? Atleti?
Well, we can't get them, I don't think, can we?
Why can't you get Atleti?
No, that was last year, wasn't it?
It's a free draw.
I wouldn't have a problem playing against Atleti,
Right.
so I'm glad you brought them up.
Okay, well, I'm pleased I could help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real Madrid or Bayern? Who then?
Stevie,
You don't
Bayern.
really want...
well, Stevie,
Yeah?
wouldn't you rather have somebody like City so you could knock them out, and that way you wouldn't face them later in the competition?
No. No. I don't want to play them. I don't want to play them till the end. I think after Liverpool, you could argue they're the best team in it now, but I guess they're the favourites.
Yes.
But why would you want to play the favourites before the final?
Oh, because what a statement.
No.
Then they're out the way.
No, thank you.
No.
What?
No.
So who would you want to avoid second? Chelsea,
Well, we're
Bayern, Real Madrid, I
We're
suppose.
starting to get into the realms of choosing your poison.
Right.
Because
Which poison would you choose?
the truth is, we can sit here and say that City and Liverpool are the favourites,
Right.
but very close behind
which
are
ones would you choose?
Madrid,
Yeah, that poison.
Bayern.
Which one
particular.
would you
I would
one
say
to avoid
Madrid.
after City?
I would say
Real Madrid, really?
Yeah, I would say Madrid.
Yeah. Would you agree, John?
Yeah. You wouldn't want to
Ahead of
play Man
Chelsea?
City. You wouldn't. I don't know what Gab's gone on about there. You want to play Man City now, so you don't have to play them in the final. They could easily beat Liverpool, Gab. You want an easy run to the final.
Oh, is that the strategy? Then you lose in the final.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
No, but if you're going to
Admittedly,
lose, you want to lose in the final.
I was kind of winding Stevie up a little bit about that. But I think as a neutral, I think, you know, sure, it would be cool if they met in the final, but I want to see big games every round. So I would have no problem if we saw, you know, a genuine game, a genuine rivalry. I'm pretty sure Liverpool wouldn't want to play another Premier League side like Chelsea either at this stage. I hope we get that rather than, you know, we'll get at least, I think, one heavyweight clash, obviously, just because of the numbers game. But I'd rather see that than just see, you know, Liverpool, Benfica, and City, Villarreal, or whatever.
Final question. It continues the Champions League theme, Don. What's the percentage that an English team wins it all?
What, the Champions League?
Yes.
3 of them in there. Don't think Chelsea can win it.
0%, right?
Yeah, Chelsea. Well, Gab had them down-
Didn't he give them
Gab had them down
20%
at
on the
5.
show?
He did, aye.
You should give them 20%
earlier
on the
20%
show,
on
John.
the show.
The knowledge in Gab knocked them down to 5, so I respect the knowledge.
There's not at least 20, is there? You can't even not
25.
say 20.
Say again?
25. 25.
No. That an English team will win the Champions League.
Yeah, about 25%.
So a 75% chance
Well-
that Manchester City won't, that Chelsea won't, and Liverpool won't.
No, other way around then. Just the cogs are turning. There's just cogs just turning and wheeling.
Do you know you're desperate not to say the wrong thing? You forget about the right thing to say.
Yes, Stevie. Yeah. That is it. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.